A wonderful morning to one and all present here, and welcome back to our second session of Goal Setting Workshop, Go for Goals. Today, we will be focusing on how to overcome the hurdles to achieve our goals through SWOT analysis. Before we begin, let me remind the attendees to have a notepad to note down the activities that we will be doing throughout the session.
Knowing your limitation is more important than trying to know to strive towards your perfection. Let's begin today's session by watching a short video.
Well, I would like to keep it very simple. I play cricket and all my devotion is towards cricket, and I know one thing: whatever is around me is because of cricket and not because of anything else. The kind of person I am, throughout my life, I've never tried to change myself. I've always kept it simple: be honest, devote yourself to something, and then be focused on that. So I think it's the ethics and the principles that really matter in life, and I've kept it really simple, so that has really helped me.
Knowing your limitation is more important than trying to strive towards perfection. That's for me. It has worked for me. It may not work for everyone, but as an individual you have to figure out what really works for you.
Process is more important than the result. The result is a byproduct of the process, but in today's world we are so much focused about the result that we get away from the process. So take care of the process, take care of all the small things, and eventually you'll get the desired result.
Worry about the controllables, and whatever the controllables are, we take care of it, we'll get the desired result. If we don't get the desired result, we'll improve. We'll change our plans, we'll execute better, and we'll get a chance to prove ourselves again. So, that's what it is. Thinking about the result never gives you result. Yes, you may have a target in mind, but what is more important is to take care of the small steps in life, what needs to be done, what I am supposed to do, what extra I can do, and that will help us achieve the target. That's what life is all about. Go through the difficult periods, fight it out, but if you can do it with a smile, that you'll become part of maybe the 5%.
I hope you enjoyed the video and you have learned something from it.
I would ask a question: that is knowledge a hurdle on achieving a goal?
What do you say? What do you think?
Like, if there is if there is improper knowledge, like the knowledge that we do not need, will it be a hurdle in achieving our goals?
What do you say, Aman?
Well, if we talk about Osama bin Laden, he was a topper. He was a topper science student, and look what he did with his knowledge to the world, the destruction of mankind. So if we know how to use our knowledge for good uses, for proper uses, I think we can avoid it, as a hurdle. What about you, Mr. Amon? What is your opinion?
See, there are different ways of looking at it. Knowledge can also give me false ego or false pretension. What we need to understand is knowledge is never full. It is evolving. Because the day we have the entire knowledge, will be like God. We are not God. We are human beings. We are acquiring and refining and I'll give you a simple example. There are few movies, Hindi movies, I see every 3 to 5 years. I think I've shared that with Marlene and Dr. Hina sometime in the past. There is a movie called Guide of Devanand. I see it every 5 years. And what I have understood is, every time I see that movie, I learn something different about myself and life. There are certain books. There is a book, I don't know if you have heard, there is a book called Jonathan the Seagull. Have you read that?
No.
I have heard it.
You have read it, Shivji?
I have heard it. Not read.
Please read it.
Yes.
I read that book every 3 years.
Mm.
And every time you read it, you get a different knowledge or a different understanding of what life should be.
Yes, sir.
So we have a question now.
If knowledge is not complete, you should never depend too much on knowledge. Yes, it helps. It helps to be aware of situation and things in life. But there are many things beyond knowledge which are also essential. I'll not depend too much 100% on knowledge, because then I'll be inflexible. And even if my vehicle is going to crash, I'll not stop, because I'll say, no, this is the only way to reach my goal, and I'll crash. Okay. Yeah, Surya, you are saying something?
Yes, sir. So we have a question regarding a success story, which is by Fida. The question is from Fida. She's telling that I have read many success stories of people where I have noticed that the EQ, that's emotional quotient, is more important than IQ. But isn't it better if we can balance between IQ and EQ? Can I know your opinion and a few methods in which we can improve our EQ level?
I mean, I'll always tell her that, Fida, I'll always go by my practice or my experience. Okay. You have to find out your own ways of doing it. But the best way to improve your EQ is by internalizing your feelings. Have the right feelings in your heart and share it with others heart to heart. That will develop empathy in you, that will develop understanding in you. And therefore, the first step perhaps is, when somebody is telling you something, listen with open mind. You know, I learned it the hard way as a child, and that was, if people are trying to tell me something, they are my well-wishers. It took me a lot of time to understand that, because then I realized that if I'm walking on the road, and even if I'm stepping into cow dung, nobody will tell me. But if somebody does tell me, Are Amol, be careful, there is shit lying there or cow dung lying there, then even that unknown person is my well-wisher. I cannot look at him like this and say in my mind, idiot fellow, who are you to tell me like this? Don't I see what is there on the road? So such kind of innocuous advice from others, known or unknown, we must take. And therefore, we have to keep on ensuring that goggles that I referred to while talking to Amal some time ago, goggles of prejudice and biases and ego, I am right and I know what to do. The pretenses in life, if we can keep aside my sense of position, I am the director, so who are you to tell me what to do, what not to do? If I am able to keep it aside, my emotional quotient will automatically become better and better. And it is absolutely essential to develop emotional quotient in life, because that gives you a better understanding of people around you. I don't live alone in this world, do I, Shivjit?
No, sir.
I'm living amongst people. And if I have to be happy, I have to keep on living amongst people. So I just check if I have answered fully Fida's question. If not, we can discuss separately with her. But it's a brilliant question. EQ must be developed, and that is why Dr. Hina and Marlene and others have introduced heartfulness as a simple practice in GIS Abu Dhabi. It's a brilliant practice to first go within yourself, and from inside your heart, connect with others and share good, positive, infectious feelings like love and understanding and togetherness, all those things. If I don't feel that I belong to this group, and if I don't share that positive feeling with all of you, I'll not belong to this group, will I? Fida, will I? I don't think I will. So first I must belong to the group and share good feelings with them. And that is what emotional quotient, developing emotional quotient is all about. You can discuss that separately with Marlene or Dr. Hina. Yeah.
Sir, I would like to ask that how can we maintain our sharp plans in achieving our goal? Like our plans, how can we maintain them? till we achieve our goals.
It's like, maintaining your vehicle. If I'm on a long journey from Cochin to Delhi by my car, I have to, fine tune it along the way at least twice. Every 700-800 kilometers, I'll have to take it to a workshop and ensure that oil is put properly, water is put properly, the battery is in good condition, the tires are properly checked, the engine is maybe properly, the spark plugs and all those things are properly cleaned. And even before I start, I must keep the vehicle ready for a journey of 2000 kilometers, is it not? So,
Yes.
just as you do bathing every day to get fresh next day morning, see, you look at your own day. You work hard during the day, then you sleep. What happens in sleep? Your body recoups itself. That electrolytic imbalance which action is creating during the day is reversed. And at the cellular level, a balance is created. That is why sleep is essential for all living beings. Okay. Then next day you freshen up. It's like fine tuning, regenerating your own body. Go ahead. So that kind of thing is required to do for your plants also. Take a look at your plants frequently. Understand what all unnecessary things are accumulated. Throw them away. I'll give you a simple example how habits are required to be changed as you progress further in life. You are going by bicycle from Cochin to Delhi. More effort is required.
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
But you
Yes,
can
sir.
drive whatever manner you want. You can drive on the left hand side of the road. You can drive on the right hand side of the road. You can drive if given a chance in the middle of the road. You have more freedom, but more effort is required. Now you decide, this is too much of effort. Let me sit in a car. Okay. Now you have to drive properly in your lane. Otherwise you will crash. Okay. But you go faster. But then you have to do a lot of effort, be watching everywhere. Somebody, some goat is not coming on the road or a cow is not coming on the road. Then you say, there is too much hassle here. Let me go by a train. Again, you have more time for yourself to spend elsewhere because someone else is driving. But it's only going to go on a route. You cannot say, I didn't go via, Vishakhapatnam or some place. I have to go only on this route. But you will go quicker. Someone else is driving. You go in an aeroplane, you will go still quicker. But your freedom is now reduced further. While the flight is going above Bhopal, you can't get down at Bhopal and see what Bhopal is like. Your freedom is much restricted. Even the movement inside the aircraft is restricted. Now, if you go in the space on ISS or some such place, you are going even higher. You are going by a rocket even farther. But even going to the loo is controlled by the controller on the ground. Do you know that? Somebody going in space to the International Space Station has to take permission from the ground, from the control station, to go to the loo and relieve himself or herself. Everything is controlled. Your goal is very high. So it all depends on what your goal is and what is the vehicle that you are going to take. You'll have to compromise on your habits. You'll have to compromise on your freedom. You will have to change a lot of attitudes, your discipline, everything will change. And therefore, it is important to have a proper vehicle, a proper attitude, a proper compromise on freedom to achieve your goal.
Yes, sir.
Get me? Have I answered your question, Shivji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what is your opinion on unrealistic goals and unattainable goals? Are they like interlinked with each other?
Depends. It depends because a goal may look unrealistic today, but if the preparation is correct and if the time given to yourself to prepare is correct, then that goal which looks unrealistic today may become a reality tomorrow. It all depends on what I'm willing to change, what I'm willing to let go to achieve that goal. It's like this. We were discussing yesterday about pursuing athletics. Okay. Now I want to run the fastest 100-meter in the world. But I'll not give up on eating. I'll not give up on, irregular sleeping and living patterns. I'll not do exercises. I'll not do the real. If I have to run fast 100 meters, my core, which is this, between groin to chest, this is my core. All the organs in that core has to be worked superlatively, in a superlative manner. And the real core has to be very strong. If I don't work on my core, if I don't work on my limbs, if I don't work on my lungs and the breathing, and still want to be the fastest sprinter in the world, then that's an unrealistic goal. But beyond that, there is a limit to which this vehicle can deliver, right? Whatever engine I will put on a bicycle, I cannot go to space, correct? So the right kind of engine, the right kind of preparation, the right kind of vehicle, all these things are important. So again, a judgment which you have to do yourself. Whether am I equipped in the right manner? Is the choice of my vehicle correct to support my ambition or goal in life? So that's an individual, analysis and decision one has to take.
Yes, sir.
So we were discussing about how we prepare ourselves, how we evaluate ourselves, how our attitude should be. Let's move on to the next one, sir. How to resolve it. We do the SWOT analysis. What is next after doing the SWOT analysis?
We need to evaluate and understand exactly whether it is going to work or not work, how it will work. If we are unable to do that ourselves, we must reach out to our mentors. It is important to have a mentor in life.
Yes, sir.
Or whatever you do. And there are, again, I repeat, there are enough mentors around us. And these mentors don't expect anything from you. It is not a transaction that you give me money, so I'll give you advice, Amal. No, there are enough mentors who really want you to be successful in life. You must reach out to them. Our networking, we in an era of digital connections like Facebook and LinkedIn, we are only worried about connecting with people. I have a different take on that. Rather than having 5,000 connections, I'll have rather 5 good friends in life, because they will be mentoring me. They may not have achieved it themselves in life, but they have enough intelligence and knowledge and wisdom in them to make it happen for me. I cannot go and tell them, अरे तूने तो यार जिंदगी में कुछ किया नहीं, तू मेरे को बता रहा है क्या करने का. Ramakant Asrekar, Sachin Tendulkar's coach, never even played Ranji Trophy match in his life. But he groomed, mentored Sachin Tendulkar from a flashy, risk-taking boy into a world champion. So we have to look at their ability to mentor us. Find those mentors. There are enough mentors around each one of you. Please work on that.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir, at this point, sorry, Amal, but we have a relevant question at this point. The question is by Netra of grade 10. She's asking, I would like to know that whenever I set a goal, I experience unnecessary stress and pressure, and I'm afraid that I will fail, and then I keep changing my goal. Please advise how to get rid of this stress and pressure and focus on my goal.
So, they say doubt is the biggest enemy. Work on removing doubt
Yes.
from inside you. Imagination, if allowed to run wild, can also imagine, you'll imagine fear. If Netra has seen that movie Three Idiots, I don't know if all of you have seen that movie.
Yes.
In that, Amir Khan is shown, all is well kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Mm.
you have to have that reassuring mantra for yourself in life. So
Sir,
everybody
just
Yes.
to
a different way of doing it, Surya. Tell her.
Yes. Yes, sir.
uh,
Thank you so much.
so just to add on to this, I think when we are setting goals, we should set our goals based on our talents and abilities. And our goal should be realistic. And are we going to accomplish this? And constantly we have to remind ourselves what will be the result of this goal and what we are going to achieve. So if you base your goals on talents and your own abilities, and if your goals are realistic, then I think this, no doubt there will be a little bit of stress, but the stress level will go down. So main thing is you must keep focused on your goal, and then keep reminding yourself, this is my goal and it is what I'm going to be one day, and I'm going to be happy with it. Why? Because that is my strength and that is my talent. So if you have this in your mind when you're setting your goal, I think your stress level will be less.
Let me refine it further, Surya, for her. Stress
sir.
is actually good because physical growth will not happen without stress. Depth of mind will not be achieved without stress. Yesterday we were talking of stretching yourself. Any stretching exercise will create a stress. If you have studied physics, a stretch induces a opposite stress. Ravi, has this been taught to the science students in some level? That stretching, physical stretching will create a reverse stress in the body. Okay, so let me repeat again. Stress is good. What you require is ability to let go of stress, because stress, if it bottles up, will create problem. But if you have a mechanism to let go of stress somehow, you can do it by running. I remember when I was not meditating as a young boy, whenever I used to get a lot of anger as a young boy, and I used to go to the playground and run for 1 hour. That was a stress buster for me. My younger sister would sing. That was the stress buster for her. What Netra requires to do is find a stress buster. There are plenty of things. That is where hobbies are required. I know people who draw paintings, they'll draw sketches. That is a stress buster for them. Because it takes my mind away from that stress creating topic onto something else. But for growth, stress is required. If stress is happening in your system, it is a sign that you are growing, that you are advancing. Don't take it in a negative manner. Instead, find out a stress buster. Find out an activity which you can do every day, which will remove your stress. When I was young, I used to run for hours to remove stress in my system. At some stage, at the age of 21, I was introduced to meditation. Now I meditate and remove my stress. But each one on his own or on her own, you find a way out for yourself. Ask her, Surya, if she has been answered.
Sure, sir. I'll ask
She
her.
can reach out to Dr. Hina or Marlene, they will guide her further. Or me also if
Yes.
she wants.
Yes, actually, that satisfies most of the questions. The students have been asking how to overcome their stress. And another question is, which is similar to this. So please, may I have your views on what can be done when you want to do something you like, but people near you are not supporting you and are supporting something else, which is not my passion.
So you do that something else and also do what you want to do.
Yes.
They are not saying that don't do that. What they are saying is do this. You can always say, tell them that, okay, I'll do this, but I'll also do that. If you have time, if you can have energy. It can't be, doing north and south at the same time. That's a different situation to address. That is where you need to go back to your well-wishers, sit with them, try and convince them. If you are convinced yourself, then I'm sure you can be very convincing to others. But if I'm doubtful myself about what I want to do, then I'll not be able to convince the other person. But then you must do that, because that will allow you to sort out and pick what is best for you to do. It's a process of learning. In the process of trying to convince others, I learn what is correct, what is not correct for me to pursue.
Yes, sir.
Correct, no, Shivji?
Yes, sir. True.
So enter into a dialogue with them. There is no need to fight. Talk it out with them. They are all your well-wishers. And it is because out of concern and love for you, they are trying to suggest you something. Use it to your advantage, like I told you about that palita in Sanskrit, or torch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let the fire go up again in the right manner. Yeah.
Yes.
So where do we go from
So
here?
I think now we are almost
So,
time to wind up. Yes, Amal, do you have any? Yes.
Yes, ma'am, just a few. So when you were talking about SWOT analysis, you were talking about evaluation. So what if any miscalculation or if any errors occur, then what do we do?
That is learning, no? See, doing a mistake is not forbidden.
Yes.
Doing the mistake again and again and again is wrong.
Mm.
Doing the same mistake over and over again is not correct. Doing a mistake, learning from it, making the right kind of changes, attempting it again, and coming out successful to go into further cycle, so that, with each cycle, the reach goes on increasing. That is correct. If a mistake happens, analyze, evaluate, understand what has gone wrong, what you did not do right, correct it, try it again. If it works fine, try it to a higher level. You have to keep on using the method till it reaches you to a point. It's like, I want to go 20 kilometers high in the sky, and I enter the lift on the Burj Khalifa. It will definitely take me high, but not beyond 144 floors, right? I'll have to leave that, come out of that lift and board something else from there to go up. So each method, each cycle will take you to a certain height. At that point, you need to leave that and board another vehicle, try different method to go higher up. It's like, I start from Cochin, from my home, take a rickshaw or a taxi to the station. I want to travel to Dubai from Delhi, then take a train to Delhi, then come out, take a taxi to airport, and then fly to Dubai. I can't say that I'm going to sit in taxi in Cochin and reach Dubai. The vehicles will have to change, the habits and the surrounding will change. At each level, once you hit a level, you need to unlearn. I need to develop that habit to sit in a car and travel further. I need to let go of that, learn new things of traveling in a train. Okay, reach Delhi, again unlearn leave that habit of traveling in the train behind, learn to board a different vehicle. So to the destination, the vehicles will change. My habits will have to change. My attitude will have to change. Only then I'll reach my destination. The thoughts will remain. The connections with my friends and families will remain. Therefore, all of us keep on going back to our home country again and again. And Merlin calls herself a patriot. Okay. So that bond will remain. That affection will remain. But the goals and destinations will be different.
Yeah.
So we have to learn to drop the habits, drop the feelings, drop the vehicles at an appropriate time. Have I answered you, Amal?
Yes, sir. But so when we talk about time management and time frame and time bound goals, situations and circumstances change. If we are talking about, suppose, Jim Carrey, he's the greatest comedian, but he had to drop out of school when he was 15. He had gone through a very hard life and he didn't plan it. Maybe even he also had some kind of long-term goal. He wanted to go to college and pursue this, whatever profession he is. So what do we do then if all these situations and circumstances change?
Acceptance is the only solution. Okay, you have to accept. If you don't accept what is served to you by destiny, you'll never be happy. What you should be happy about is that I have done my best. That letting go will allow you to walk further. If I remain unhappy and I'll say, no, I'm not going to move forward unless I have it. And if it is not going to happen, you will get stuck on your journey. Correct?
Yeah.
Accepting and letting go and moving on in life is the best thing. Life, whether it is successful or not, depends on what happens at the end of the life. A journey is successful at the end. Having boarded a train from Cochin on destination Delhi, you will say that I'm successful only upon reaching Delhi, right?
Yeah.
Even if
Yes, sir.
the train stops at Nizamuddin, which is just 10 kilometers from New Delhi railway station, your journey is still not complete. Then you realize that I boarded a train to Nizamuddin, not New Delhi. Correct? No, so leaving the things, letting go, accepting, and moving on is the only sure shot way of being happy at the end of life.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
things will happen, some things will not happen. Some things I have understood in life are not destined to happen at that point of time. It may happen in future. So life doesn't give all the things that you want. Life, if you take life as a process of learning and growing, then you will accept what is being given to you and keep on growing. Okay. Others may take it as a compromise that you have made in life. Ultimately, what is important is that you keep on growing till the last breath. Okay. And you keep on learning.
Yes.
And you keep on giving to others. Life, the entire fun and growth in life is by giving, not by taking. Try and think on this particular aspect. So we are going away from the topic. Surya,
Yes.
Merlin, what
Yeah.
do you
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Surya, can you just sum up now?
Sure, sir. Actually, yes, when you meet obstacles, with gratitude, with perception, your perception starts to shift, your resistance loses its power, and grace finds a home with you. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful contributions and advices. I believe our young listeners surely would have been able to correlate their experiences shared by our panelists with their journey towards goal setting. Looking forward to watch the next generation become smart survivors of tomorrow. Let me wind up today's session with a very small advice. If nothing goes right, turn left, but don't turn back. See you all tomorrow with the third set of topics on what are the factors that helps in achieving the goals. Thank you so much.